joining us now is ABC's Ines De La Cuetara live in Jerusalem.
And Ines, we heard today for the first time from those two hostages released yesterday by Hamas. What can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Joe and Liz. That's right. We are hearing for the first time from one of the newly released hostages about the conditions the hostages in Gaza are being held in.
With a ground invasion of Israel Defense Forces into Gaza possible any day now, the Israeli government is preparing for a potential influx of war casualties. This underground parking lot converted into a makeshift hospital filled with rows of beds and medical equipment.
We managed to fully equip this place. We're talking about a hospital of 130 beds. At the end, there's an intensive care unit.
An Israeli general warning the army will face many deaths if it enters Gaza. Still, Israel vowing to do what it takes to wipe out the Hamas terrorists who murdered more than 1,400 Israelis. Israel defense troops seen training near the Gaza border. The U.S. and other allies are privately urging Israeli authorities to delay their ground war in Gaza in the hopes the terrorist group will release the more than 200 hostages they're still holding.
It's imperative that we work to protect all civilians in this conflict. The value we place on civilian life is the driving force behind our efforts to secure the release of hostages.
2 elderly women were released from Hamas custody on Monday and handed over to the Red Cross, then taken into Israel. 85-year-old Yoshevet Lifshitz speaking alongside her daughter at a hospital, saying she's been through hell after being abducted by Hamas. She says she was taken from her kibbutz, put on the back of a motorbike, beaten with sticks, and ended up in a huge network of underground tunnels in Gaza. She says it was like a spider's web. So far, more than 5,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza. According to the Hamas-run health ministry, more than 700 Palestinians have been killed in the past day alone, the deadliest day in Gaza since the conflict began. And millions continue to suffer from a lack of food, water, and fuel, particularly hospitals.
We've just run out of almost everything. Yesterday, a lot of the times we had very little electricity.
And amid growing concerns about the war front expanding, the IDF says today rockets were fired into Israel from Syria. Live in Jerusalem, Ines De La Cuetara, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Ines, thank you. And be sure to stay with Eyewitness News for the very latest on the crisis in the Mideast. Developments can change quickly, so stay with us on the air and at ABC 7 NY.